So in this video, I'm going to share with you how I'm able to fit working on my YouTube channel into my schedule as a full-time worker, a full-time graduate student. I'm really all in all working over 80 hours a week, and I'm going to break down the numbers for you on the screen. Again, share with you my strategy so that this way, hopefully you can just kind of pick and pull at things that maybe will work for you. So full-time worker, as you know, full-time 40 hours. I'm also a full-time counseling psychology graduate student, so that averages around 20 hours most weeks. I say, depending on the class, sometimes we can get by with 15 hours a week, but usually it's about 20 hours per week. And then also there's 6 hours a week that goes to practicum. So when you are in a counseling psychology program, typically in that program, you have to have a certain amount of practicum hours, you can say clinical hours, where you are getting the actual experience of doing therapeutic work with other individuals. So that right now accounts for 6 hours of the week. So far, working on YouTube takes me about 15 hours, depending on the video and the content. Which is going to lead me into number one when creating or working on your YouTube channel, or really any other venture for that matter, when you are a very busy person, and that is looking at your aspirations. When you set out to achieve something, whether again, in this case, like a YouTube channel, it has to be more than just, oh, I want to work on a YouTube channel. The aspiration has to be bigger. So for example, for me, it's more about the potential that YouTube can provide in its own way. So for example, when I started my YouTube journey, I didn't ask how will I work on this channel. I asked myself, where in my day do I choose to work on my aspirations? Do I choose to work on my dream? And when you are considering what your aspiration is, what the big dream or the goal is, I'm using all of these words interchangeably. To me, they mean the same thing. So you want to consider lifestyle, like what kind of lifestyle do you want to have? Because for example, if one of my aspirations was to live in a mansion in the Malibu Hills versus staying in the San Joaquin Valley and owning a home, both destinations require a different strategy. You're not going to take the same road to get to those destinations. So that is one reason it's really important to consider the lifestyle that you want. And the lifestyle in this case that I want, I know that YouTube is not just, it's not the only way, but it is part of the strategy to get me to where I want. You also want to consider, like, what do I want to make? What do I want to earn? And that kind of also goes hand in hand with your lifestyle. Because for example, you don't need to make as much money, you know, if you want a home in the San Joaquin Valley versus a home in Malibu on the cliffs overlooking the ocean. Again, you're going to need a certain amount of money to provide that lifestyle. You also want to ask yourself, how many hours a day do I want to put in to this goal or this aspiration? And how many hours may be required of me to put in at some point in time to get to that end goal? You also want to consider what you want to create content on. And then you want to consider, well, is there a demand for what I want to do? Is there a potential problem here that I can solve with either my interest or my skill sets? And also you want to consider, does this align with my values, right? Because for example, if I wanted to become an attorney, it's going to be a struggle getting through law school, not because I'm incapable of going through law school, but because do I really want to be an attorney, right? Is that content even interesting to me? At one point when I was working at a legal law firm, really if I wanted to kind of advance in that field, the decision ultimately would have been to go to law school. And I did not want to go down that path because first of all, I wasn't really interested in it, but the end result of what an attorney brings or can bring is not something that was really in alignment with my values, or at least at the top of my values list. And maybe if you haven't guessed it already, aspirations should be the first on your list. You're gonna need a lot more fuel in the tank to keep you going till you eventually reach that goal. That is, of course, if you're not an overnight success, because that can be possible, but in a lot of cases it's not. And along this journey, there are going to be obstacles and issues. So the more emotion you can put behind the reasons why you're trying to achieve something, which is your aspirations, your goals, right? Then the more likely you are to stay committed to reaching the end goal. So the second thing I did when looking to see where I could fit working on my YouTube channel in my full-time schedule here was actually writing down every activity through the day. I literally just went to my whiteboard, and before I started working on my YouTube channel, I was like, okay, what does my day look like from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed? Doing this allowed me to get a bird's eye view of my schedule to see what time frame would be the most realistic time out of the day, every day, or at least most days of the week, to work on my aspirations. You know, once I was able to get that bird's eye view on my day, then I was able to choose a time where I can consistently schedule the time to work on my aspirations or to work on my YouTube channel. And for me, realistically, this was at 4 in the morning to about 6 in the morning right before I started work. Do I want to wake up at 4 in the morning? Goodness, no. The goal is, of course, that this is not going to be forever. This is just temporary, but it was a time of the day where there would, no one's up really at 4 in the morning. There's no interruptions. There's no work emails or calls or anything going on. So that, again, realistically was a time where I can devote to working on my aspirations. And for you, it's going to be a little bit different. It's kind of going to be a work in progress. You want to see what works well for you. But Monday through Friday, that 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. slot is really towards editing the videos or scripting the videos or video research. On Saturdays or Sundays is when I try to do the majority of the recording, with the exception of today because I'm traveling. But typically I like to record on a Saturday or Sunday just because I feel the most like refreshed and not as drained. And I just feel like I really need that for just the sake of being on camera, energy, and creativity purposes. So number 4 is I wasn't even gonna include this, but I was like, no, wait, I should include it just in case, because some of you might already know exactly what needs to be done, right? And this is the information that you're gonna plug into your schedule, those available hours during the week where you see it's gonna actually fit for you. So for example, with working on a YouTube channel, I know what to do because I have purchased a few online courses about creating a YouTube channel, and I've purchased these courses from individuals who've actually had success in running successful businesses from YouTube. So, that's one way I need to know exactly what I need to be doing in order to publish these channels. Of course, by no means is saying that my stuff is perfect, right? I need to improve myself. So that would be something I would want you to consider. Do you know what needs to be done while working on your YouTube channel or your side hustle or side business venture? You don't necessarily have to pay for a YouTube course. You can find tons of content on YouTube for free that will help you understand how to at least improve your YouTube videos. But for me, I feel like when I purchased online courses from somebody who's actually paved the way and doing something that I want to do, I just feel like that kind of speeds up the process with buying that program, because it's pretty sequential. It's like bullet point A, you got to do bullet point B, versus if you're searching online, you'll still find the information, but sometimes you just kind of have to sift through all the different steps and it's not in order, and it can get kind of overwhelming. So you can decide if you want to invest in either a YouTube course or if you're doing something else. If you want to open a floral shop, is there an online program where you can purchase to find out how to do that? Or you can go to sites like Skillshare or Udemy, where it's not necessarily as expensive. Actually, I would say it's more price tag friendly, where you can still get a lot of valuable information there. And then don't forget old school way. If you're looking to do something outside of building a YouTube, don't forget you can walk into that mom and pop shop. You can build a relationship. You can offer to pay them, right? For them to tell you what to do to get your feet off the ground as well. So there are a bunch of ways out there you can get the information on what you need to do to start your own venture. Hope that video was helpful, and I will see you guys on the next post. Bye guys.